My name is Logan Potvin, but out in drag, I'm Shayla V, Thunder Bay's campiest, kookiest comedy queen. My name is Logan Potvin. I classify myself as a comedy queen, kind of campy, like trying to have more fun with it, opposed to trying to be seriously, quote unquote, passing as a woman. Also, a lot of my stuff is usually early 2000s or super high pop energy. I've done a lot of country, surprisingly, even though I hate country as a normal genre, but it's always like Shania Twain or Carrie Underwood.
So my name is Samson Bush. Where did I meet Logan? So we were actually talking online for a little while, but the first time I met him in person was at a drag show here. He invited me to come to a drag show. I was living in Fort Frances at the time, and there's not any sort of pride scene there. So of course I was like, I am definitely coming to the show. So I drove 4 hours to Thunder Bay. I had never been here before. I was by myself. I didn't tell anyone I was going, and I had never met him before, so it was a little sketchy, but it was a lot of fun. The first time I saw him, he was like 8 feet tall, wearing a wig and heels and makeup and the whole get up, and yeah, he was really nice. It was my first time meeting him, and I was just struck by like what a kind person he is.
For me, it's expression, it's art. I've never been able to not be performing for somebody, even when it's just I'm a shy, quiet kid in elementary school. I was singing, I was dancing, I was doing theater. I sometimes say I hate to be the center of attention, but I also love to be the center of attention at the same time. For me, a lot of it comes down to expression and being able to be that part of me that I get to hide away sometimes. First time ever doing drag was the most nerve-wracking thing in the world. I was so excited to perform again, but then on top of, okay, I'm wearing a wig, I'm wearing a dress, I'm wearing heels, I have so much stuffing packed into my tights that I could barely move. And I was just worried I was gonna forget the words or forget any choreography that I had. I just kind of bit the bullet and did it because I knew that it was like if I kept thinking about how I was gonna behave and perform, they knew I was new, the audience knew. And the fact that everybody was singing along with my first song made it that much easier, and I had so much fun, and I was immediately like, I want to get up there and do it again!
Yeah, I knew drag beforehand. I've been to like a lot of drag shows in my hometown, which is Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, and drag bingo and like events like that. So I definitely had some experience with it. Like knowing Logan has definitely changed my perspective on it a bit because I've gone to tons of shows as like an attendee and like part of the audience, but it's kind of neat to see like the background process, I guess, and like all the planning that goes into it and like making the costumes and choosing the music and all that stuff. I am a background person. I don't need to get up on the stage. I like to do like the background stuff, like the costumes and that sort of thing. But of course, Logan has put me in drag and it's fun. Like I'm actually, I find it very affirming. I am trans, I was born female, and it's just fun to me to put on a dress and makeup and look like a man wearing a dress because pre-transition that didn't happen. You put on a dress, you put on makeup, you obviously look female. So it's fun to me now to kind of play around with that sort of thing. I like trying on his wigs and his heels and stuff like that. And it's kind of like playing dress up.
So being plus sized, it does actually wind up getting costumes a lot more difficult. We wind up making my own costumes, my partner and I.
I've kind of given him a rule, which is like, at least give me 2 weeks notice before we make something because it takes a long time. But I have a lot of like costuming experience from like my younger years. So I used to do like theater plays and things like that, cosplay for friends in like my early 20s. So I had a lot of experience with like making props and costumes for that. So it's pretty easy to translate that into making drag costumes. There is a lot more creativity involved because like the shapes we want to do and like the silhouettes are so much more dramatic than like a regular like shirt and pants that you make for like just a normal look. So there's a lot more experimenting, and there's a lot more experimenting with different types of fabric and things like that. So we're definitely learning as we go, but it's been fun. And it's fun to make something. I'm the kind of person where I like to make stuff, but I don't want to wear it. So I can make stuff and make him wear it, and it works out that way.
So before drag, a lot of still loud and eccentric, I guess is the nice way to put it. But a lot more comfortability came with after drag. I wasn't confident in my body. I'm still not, and that's something that I fight with every day. But especially the idea of people are coming to see me perform at a show, and they don't know if I'm making a mistake. They're just living for the fact that I'm a male presenting person standing on stage in a bodysuit, a wig, 5 pounds of makeup, and just having a grand old time. So that's all they care about. The confidence has definitely grown. Even with my own gender identity, it took me a long time to realize that I identify more as gender fluid opposed to cis male. And drag helped me explore that, as it does for a lot of people actually. Not necessarily falling into the gender diverse community, but they get to experience playing with their gender and exploring different options for them. But for me, it was a way of like, okay, I figured out myself. I'm still figuring out myself every single day, and my confidence has definitely grown a lot.
The biggest misconception about drag that I wish people didn't have is that a lot of people associate drag queens with trans women, and I really dislike that. I have a lot of friends who are trans women and they won't come to a show. Like, they've never come to a drag show, even if it's a local one where they know people there and they know that it's a safe space. But it's because there's an association that drag queens and trans women are the same. And I really wish that people would understand that there's a difference, that like drag is a performance and an art form, and it's completely different, and you can't associate the two with one another. And people who do that, like, it stops being a safe space for transgender people when you start like conflating these two things.
Shayla evolves. She's never set to be who she is. She's constantly changing. Yes, I do comedy. Yes, I can't be whatever, but I try out new things every show. Does it work? Does it not work? You're not just figuring out your drag persona, you're figuring out yourself while you're doing this. And it's a journey. That's why everybody says, oh, on my drag journey, or on my like, this is who I am. The other one would be, again, everything going on in the States right now, that it's like everybody's just after making your children gay or making your children trans, and it's like, nope, drag queens don't do that. They just see that there's a confident gay or 2S LGBTQIA plus person who's confident being themselves, and that's giving them the ability to. And I think people are really misunderstanding the idea that drag is not an attack on the cisgender people of the world. It's a statement of, we're here, we're queer, get used to it.